Sonia Issa is a first-generation scholar, community strategist, and systems thinker from Brownsville, Brooklyn. With nearly a decade of experience in public service, she works at the intersection of social justice, policy design, and community healing, bringing strategy, care, and lived wisdom to every room she enters. She is currently completing her Master's of Public Administration and Certificate of Advanced Study in Data Analytics for Public Policy at Syracuse University's Maxwell School, where she also earned her BA in Political Science with a minor in African American Studies and a certificate in Project Management. She decorated. Sonia's work spans the nonprofit, academic, and government sectors. She has led initiatives in housing justice, youth mentorship, HR strategy, and restorative practices, often while holding multiple roles at once. Whether managing a $1.3 million scholarship endowment as a chapter president of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, designing programs for women of color, or supporting policy research on budgets and equity, Sonia builds towards systems that care. Her leadership has earned her awards, fellowships, and a reputation for balancing strategy with soul. Through her writing, speaking, and service, Sonia challenges traditional notions of leadership and resilience, offering a new blueprint rooted in collective power, rest, and sustainability. Her speech title is Breaking Cycles, Not Ourselves. Her talk will challenge the traditional hustle, mindset, and redefine leadership and resilience as holistic, sustainable approaches. Drawing from her experiences as a student leader, public service advocate, and someone who has been working since the age of 14. She'll explain how true leadership is not about authority, but about service and community impact. Likewise, she'll redefine resilience, not as endless endurance, but as a balance between ambition, self-care, and well-being. This talk will empower young leaders, students, and changemakers to step into leadership roles without sacrificing their well-being. At TEDxSyracuseUniversity, Sonia is challenging the narrative of burnout, survival, and first-gen pressure, redefining what it truly means to break cycles without breaking ourselves. Our final speaker, Sonia Issa.
Is the clicker up there?
Yes, it is.
Hi, everybody. You all look so gorgeous. My name is Sonia Issa. I'm getting my master's in public administration at the Maxwell School of Citizenship and Public Affairs, and I am an advocate for systems that care. So I remember first filling out my FAFSA form and thinking, is this a test? Because I did not study for it. I am still waiting for the IRS to tell me I got one of the answers wrong. But let's have a quick pop quiz. Raise your hand if anyone taught you how to use LinkedIn. Okay, like a few hands. Raise your hand if someone taught you how to negotiate a salary. Raise your hand if someone taught you how to write a professional email. Okay, far and few. So some of us get life quizzes. Some of us get a life manual. The rest of us get pop quizzes. For example, I didn't understand what office hours even meant. I thought it was literally 1 hour during the day and I had to work. So I missed out on that until my junior year. No one told me that it was time built into the system for me. Time where professors were waiting for me to connect, to build, to come ask them questions. I didn't learn that until junior year. And when I did, I stopped just surviving classes and I started building relationships. But most of us don't get these lessons until we've already missed so much. Coming from Brooklyn to Syracuse University hit me with a level of culture shock I did not expect. I called my mom and I said, "Mom, they have a giant orange running around giving high fives on a scooter." She said, "Stay away." I did not stay away. I stayed, I studied, I struggled, and I built something worth staying for. The real culture shock was not Otto the Orange. It was realizing how much I had to figure out alone. I was 19 in my South Campus apartment, juggling coursework, multiple jobs, and responsibilities back home. My first refund check just hit my account. Y'all know how that feels. And I had to decide between buying groceries or sending money back home. I did everything I was supposed to. I worked hard, I got into college, I got a degree, I made it. So why did it still feel like survival? But my survival mode didn't start at Syracuse. I went from Brownsville, never ran, never will, to Syracuse, knowledge crowns those who seek her. From a place where overstaying your welcome could cost you everything, to a place that welcomed me and then asked me to prove that I belonged here. Where I'm from, you don't loiter, you move. So I moved. I locked in. I didn't wait for someone to explain FAFSA or LinkedIn. I built the life I needed. But even when I got out, survival was still running in the background, still telling me, be useful, be grateful, be perfect. It took a while to realize I don't have to be perfect anymore. My lineage didn't survive wars and cross oceans from Niger to Brooklyn for me to burn out in silence. Burnout isn't just exhaustion, it's emotional debt. First-gen kids don't burn out, we evaporate. We run on fumes and share willpower until there's nothing left but exhaustion and a congrats, you made it. It's the pressure to always be grateful because you should just be happy to be here. It's the weight of being the first, the only, the one who made it out. I spent years proving I deserved to be in rooms that I had already earned. And I know I'm not alone. 65% of first-generation students carry out more than $25,000 in debt after graduation. But this isn't just about money. It's about the cost of being the example. People think I may have made it here alone, but they don't see the mother and father who taught me survival, the mentors who saw something in me even when I couldn't, the exhaustion I carry like a second spine. Nobody in my family history has done what I'm doing because I'm the bridge. And here's the thing, we come out of college with debt, yes, but we also come out with discernment, with resilience, with emotional intelligence, with character that doesn't show up on a resume, but shows up everywhere else. They say it takes a village to raise a child, but sometimes the child grows up and realizes they were raising the village. I was a financial safety net before I had my own, a project manager by the age of 7, and I thought about quitting, but apparently you can't put in your 2 weeks notice when you're 7. And by 14, I had my first official job. Since then, I've worked nearly every year of my life across nonprofits, city governments, and universities. I've designed programs for girls of color. I've delivered DEI strategies to execs twice my age. This year alone, I held 3 jobs while I'm working on my master's. And I still made time to show up for my community. Not to prove a point, but because the stakes have always been real. My middle school teacher once said she was so glad I didn't stay in Brooklyn, that only a handful of us even made it to college, let alone kept going. I think about that a lot. Hi, Miss Reno. I didn't grow up in that side of Brooklyn, in that side of New York. I come from the concrete jungle where dreams and nightmares are made of. My Brooklyn is sirens and corner stores. It's overstimulation and survival. It's love, but it's loud, and it's heavy, and it's relentless. And somehow, I still learn to lead with softness. From a mom who laughs when there's nothing funny, to my 2 baby sisters who make jokes in the middle of chaos, from block parties that happen in the shadows of grief. That's where I'm from. That's what I bring into every room. They say just focus on school, but how do you do that when you're holding up a family, holding up yourself, holding up a lineage? Somewhere along the way, we learned that love, success, even safety was something you had to suffer for. If you weren't exhausted, you're not doing enough. If you weren't perfect, you didn't deserve grace. I was taught survival, but now I'm learning softness. What if success isn't about suffering, but about softness? Audre Lorde once said, self-care is not self-indulgence, it's self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. But a lot of us were raised to believe that rest is for the weak. We wear exhaustion like a medal. Breaking the cycle means rewriting rest as a right, not a reward, because just because I carry it well does not mean it's not crushing me. Simone Biles withdrew from the Olympics in 2020 to protect her mental health. She came back 2 years later and dominated. She didn't break herself to break records. She got whole, and then she made history. She knew she had more to give once she chose herself. I want that kind of self-trust, that kind of comeback. Real strength isn't silence. It isn't endurance. It's self-compassion. It's saying no. It's choosing rest. It's letting yourself be seen when you're not perfect. What if I don't have to walk through the fire? What if I can walk around it? We learned that success has a clock on it. Graduate early, get rich or die trying, succeed fast or fail forever, but urgency is just trauma in a trench coat. And I'm just a girl. There is no clock on my success. I just want to make my real life a vacation and not wait. I want to be okay, and maybe that's the most radical thing I can think, that I deserve to be okay now and not later. So let's do something together. If you've ever said, I'll rest after this next assignment, next project, next goal, stand up. Okay, almost everyone, okay. So if you've ever said that you felt guilty for resting, keep standing. Okay. If exhaustion ever felt normal to you, keep standing. Look around. This is the problem. Not because we're weak, but because we were taught that we are carrying what generations before us never got to. So now you can sit and put the weight of the world down with you. What does it look like to break cycles, not ourselves? It looks like saying no, even when you're scared. It looks like going to Pilates on Sunday. It looks like eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It looks like being in bed by 11 p.m., give or take. You know, we're college students. It looks like calling your sisters, like talking with your friends over boba. It looks like playing The Sims, Animal Crossing. It looks like going to therapy, having hard conversations, choosing to tell the truth in a world that prefers that you lie. It's choosing rest, not as a requirement, not as a reward, but as a requirement. It's softness as strategy. It's integrity as non-negotiable. It's remembering that your ambition is rare, that your warmth is holy, and not everyone gets to hold it. We deserve softness. We deserve community. We deserve to be seen fully in our struggle, our joy, our grief, our glory. Let me show you what breaking cycles for myself looks like. In 2023, I got to go to London because of the Gilman Scholarship. I had no idea where to start. Shout out to my friend Summer. She sat down with me, she talked me through it, she pulled me up. A few months later, I was on a plane in London, living a dream I thought I couldn't afford. When one of my friends, Ryan Kongyu, applied the next year, I paid it forward. I sat down with him, and he got the scholarship too. Each one teach one. That's how we multiply. So before you leave this room, think of someone, a sibling, a friend. Maybe it's the younger version of you. Hold them close, pull them up. Shirley Chisholm once said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I didn't just bring a folding chair. I pulled up my people. I built my own table, crafted from ancestral wood, painted with purpose, And at my table, we don't fight to be seen, we see each other. We pull each other up. We write our own rules, we rest, we eat, we play, we rise. Together, we break cycles without breaking ourselves. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.